we exist in a political fora that says, you know, only one can be right at any time. And that's just ridiculous when it comes to such a complicated issue like energy and the environment and climate change. It's, we do need the best ideas from the different places. And, you know, I mean, it calls on the need for proportional representation to be brought into our voting system, because we need, I believe we need to have the Greens at the table. We need to have the Conservatives at the table and the Liberals, and a little more humility in our governments, so that they're forced into situations like this one, where they have to say, okay, you know, a good negotiation is when everybody gives up a little bit, right? When everybody gets everything, like our election system is built, it's just stupid, and they get it wrong. And, you know, Germany is a great example where the, you know, the right-wing chancellor has just introduced a national retrofit program for all houses and commercial buildings, a 5% retrofit every year for the next 20 years until
because
it's all
she has
done.
A coalition government.
And she has a coalition government, which is a natural state of being for
it's
communities.
The way most of the world
Most
does it.
families are coalition governments, right? Very few dictatorships out there. Most communities are built on that idea as well. The most important thing you can do is get her elected.
Yeah.
Because I've obviously got some partisan interests, but I've also got some interests just specifically on the issue. And I got to tell you, Alberta is just not being represented right now. And Albertan views when it comes to the environment and balancing things a little bit, there's a void. It's just not being spoken of. Anybody in here who cares a whiff for this thing at all, I can tell you it's not happening. And you've got folks like our friend from Wild Rose Country who will confidently claim that he doesn't have to get out of bed in order to win the next campaign. That type of arrogance and sense of entitlement to be able to speak on your behalf drives me up the wall. That's unfair. So clear, clean representation with people who get it and want to fight for it, fight for you, it can't be understated. It really can't, because right now you don't have it. Trust me. I see them every day. The argument will often be made that the oil sands, in terms of our overall greenhouse gas production, is not that much. It doesn't represent that much. It's become a lightning rod issue, certainly. It's symbolic of a lot of other things. And that's true. It doesn't represent a huge proportion. It will grow significantly, fivefold or more. And they've also told us, even by intensity, these intensity standards, it's going to get worse as well. They're not going to get more efficient because it's going to get more expensive to do and more energy intensive. But please don't for a moment think that this project's got anything to do with Alberta or Albertans. I mean, when you have a municipal council like Fort McMurray, and I sat down with them when they were in Ottawa, and they said, could someone please listen to us? Like, these are not lefties. These folks are not self-described environmentalists who are out hugging trees on their break time. These folks believe in development, absolutely. They got elected because of those beliefs. But they've watched a total market failure in terms of their own community, and they're desperate, and they're not being listened to in Edmonton or in Ottawa. And Washington doesn't much mind them either. So don't be thinking this is about Alberta versus the rest of the country. That's how some will portray it. But I think that's just a false positive. This is not about us. The example I will leave with you is this. 10, 15 years ago, if any of your municipal candidates had got to the podium at the all candidates debates or knocked on your doors and said, vote for me, I want to ban smoking everywhere. Certainly indoor. People would have went, oh, whoa, that seems pretty extreme. I don't know about this thing. You some kind of radical? Right? And then the debate moved on. And the debate moved on. I will challenge any candidate for municipal office anywhere in this country to get up in the next municipal election and say, vote for me, I will bring smoking back in to every place of work and every public place. Now you can smoke in the library again, shouldn't that? Come on, people. It's our rights. It's our freedoms. That would be just a silly thing to do. And I suggest that almost nobody's going to do it. Because the issue has moved on. It has gone beyond some sort of right-left consideration. It's a right-wrong thing. I don't want to go to a restaurant and leave smelling like smoke. I like it the way it is now. Although 15 years ago, it was hard for me to imagine that. It was hard for me to conceive of that. But now that I can conceive of it and see it, I like it. And when we deal with the issue of the environment and doing the right things, we got to imagine that time when no politician in the land will get up and suggest that the polluter shouldn't pay, or that we should let greenhouse gases run out of control, or that we shouldn't have the best technology heating our homes and lighting our lives. That would be just crazy, right or left or middle or upside down. It doesn't matter. And that's where I think this issue will eventually go. And that's why we created the committee. That's why we gave every party an opportunity to win. I just talked to the Minister of Environment, I don't know, half an hour ago, Jared, right? And we're still talking. We're still negotiating. And I'll tell you this, all the way through the Cold War, we always talked to the Russians. You never stop talking to your opponent, because the eventual resolution will involve your opponents. It must.